away. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year.
So what is moral development and adolescence? Well, here we have Professor Thomas to explain to us in detail.
Moral development is the process through which children develop proper attitudes and behaviors towards other people in society, based on social and cultural norms, rules and laws. Adolescence is the period in human growth and development that occurs after childhood and before adulthood, from ages 10 to 19. The process of adolescence is a period of preparation for adulthood, during which time several key developmental experiences occur.
So, there were two main lads, Jean, Mr. Epistemology, Piaget, found that children's ideas regarding rules, moral judgment, and punishment tended to change as they got older. Piaget in 1932 suggested two main types of moral thinking: heteronomous morality, i.e. moral realism, a phase more common among children that's characterized by the idea that rules come from authority figures in one's life, such as parents, teachers, and God. Autonomous morality, i.e. moral relativism. In this phase, people begin to view the intentions behind actions as more important than their consequences. Lawrence Kohlberg, building upon Jean Piaget's cognitive theory of development, he identified three distinct levels of moral reasoning, each with two substages. People can only pass through these levels in the order listed. These levels and stages describe how our ideas of right and wrong change as we grow.
So in the following illustration, we will be introducing the first level of Kohlberg's stages in moral development. Stage 1, obedience and punishment orientation. The individual is good in order to avoid being punished. First, we see the arrival of Stephen at a pre-adolescent stage. He arrives in the door with great enthusiasm, happily telling his parents about his day in school, and expresses his love for both his parents. Stage 2, individualism and exchange. At this stage, the child recognizes that there's not just one right viewpoint that is handed down by the authorities. Different individuals have different viewpoints. Next, the arrival of the second child, a first-year student who is becoming of age. Her attitude is completely different to the 6th class child. She speaks in an ignorant manner and shows no respect for her parents or granddad. At the individualism and exchange stage of moral development, children account for individual points of view and judge actions based on how they serve individual needs. This scene gets across the message of pre-conventional stages. It gives a good intro as to what's to come in the other levels and stages as teenagers grow older and are faced with many difficult choices.
Just had the best day ever. I love 6th class. I love you guys. Oh.
School, teacher, bloody cigarettes. Move over now. Move over. I'm sitting here. I watch TV.
Teenagers. Where did we get her from?
To think she's my daughter, Scarlet for
The worst day ever.
Did you see today's headlines? Teenagers going mad across the country. They'd be the death.
Okay, class, so our next illustration will carry us through to level 2, stages 3 and 4. Throughout our illustration, we look at how Pa, Therese's friend, looks after Therese when they go about joining the football team. Pa encourages Therese to join in, who hesitates at first as she's looking for approval from the whole group. Stage 4, law and order. We're looking at the wider rules of society which uphold the law in relation to adolescence, you guys. Now we see the group make fun of Therese. As Pa looks towards the group, seen as the wider society in this case, he is aware that he needs to stand up for Therese, but reverts back to the group who are upholding their own law. He does not step away from the wider society, i.e. his peers, but in this case, he ponders what he should do. And even the fact that he's pondering shows us his development in his moral reasoning about whether he should or should not help Therese.
Yeah, some game, I know. She's good. Oh, jeez. Yeah, some finish on that.
Oh, what's the crack, right? How you getting on? Oh, welcome. How you getting on? Oh. Oh!
Come on, Trey, join in.
Play a bit soft.
See you on trees.
I know.
The state of her, like.
God,
what is she doing here? What's the story with trees? What's she doing here? My friend, like.
Oh!
To help Therese or not to help Therese? That is the question.
So the third level of moral development is called post-conventional morality and occurs in adulthood, or mostly in adulthood, although teenagers can get there. Stage 5 is the acceptance of a social contract and individual rights. It means that we need rules to maintain social order,
but they should not be blindly obeyed, but instead they should be set up by a social contract for the greater good of the society, even if we don't all agree with them personally. Age 6, moral reasoning is based on abstract reasoning, using universal ethical principles. According to Kohlberg, very few people ever reach this stage, but some teenagers do. We do have examples of teenagers who have shown incredible courage in the face of hostility, especially Malala from Afghanistan, who was attacked for just wanting education for girls. Individuals develop their own moral guidelines and personal justice, and they are prepared to defend them even if this means going against the rest of the society and facing tough consequences such as disapproval and even prison sentences. One of those individuals is Rosa Parks, an African-American woman who refused to give up her seat to a white person on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, thus breaking the law. As a result, she was arrested, but then became an activist for the civil rights movement.
Yeah, right. I need you, and you to get up and be standing. Sorry. Why aren't you standing up there?
I don't think I should have to.
If you don't stand up, I'm going to call the Gardaí down the road and have you arrested.
Yeah, you go on, do that. Why do you push us around?
The law is the law, and you're under arrest.
So imagine the world had she not stood up. Where would we be? One of Kohlberg's most famous ethical dilemmas, used to represent the different stages of moral development, is that of the Heinz dilemma, where a husband has to decide between stealing a drug to save his wife or to not steal and let her die. But the most famous example is the Brady dilemma. If your best friend was being bullied and you had something, for example a Facebook post, that you could blackmail the bully with to make them stop, what would you do?
Leave me alone.
If I post it, I'll be punished by my teachers and parents, but rewarded by my best friend. Pat's nice to me, so gotta be nice to him, but Claire's mean to him, so it's okay to be mean to her. My friends will approve or maybe disapprove of my actions to blackmail Claire. Society would agree with me because bullying is wrong, but then again, blackmailing is also wrong. It can't be right for someone to bully Pat, so the fact that blackmailing is being used for a greater good, to preserve the health of Pat, makes it ethical. While blackmail is against the law, I'm using it for an altruistic, just cause in order to stop Pat being bullied, who's been affected negatively on a physical, mental and emotional level. Or despite the fact that bullying is universally wrong, and I want to help Pat, I'm deciding against blackmailing Claire because I'd be the source of that same mental anguish for Claire by posting something vile about her online, which could be seen as an act of bullying. And I don't want to use bullying as a method of stopping bullying. Sure, I'd be a hypocrite. Ugh!
I read an article in the newspaper there on Holly River in Adolescence. I didn't see it. Yeah, I had a look at two of the theorists involved, Piaget and Kohlberg. Piaget doesn't agree with Kohlberg's design of the research.
Yeah, I'm sure he only based his research on males anyway. So
Yeah.
really, it just makes sense.
True that. Sure, the lemons are only artificial anyway, they're not real. That's pretty sure. The example of, yourself being bullied by Claire, that's real life, hardcore, To be fair to him, he did come up with a good 3 levels, or pretty sound levels, in those 6 stages. Right? It's gonna, at the end of it, it'll be like Rosa Parks.
Adolescence, how tough our life